My name's Dave Ford, and this is my dog, Logan. Out once again on a walk in the New Forest. But today we're going to be doing something slightly different. As you can probably hear from the seagulls, we're beside the seaside. Today we're at a place called Keyhaven, a tiny little village just to the south of Lymington in Hampshire. A lot of people forget that the New Forest has got something like 26 miles of coastline. So today we're going to do a little bit of investigating. Well, this is Keyhaven itself. You can see a large boat about to be either it's going in or going out, I'm not sure. I say it's a tiny little village. Originally it was a small fishing village, but now it concentrates on tourism, mainly sailing by the looks of things. And it lies at one end of a shingle bank called Hurst Spit, which leads out to a fort, but I'll tell you a bit more about that later. The name Keyhaven means harbour where cows are shipped, and apparently cows used to come over from the Isle of Wight on the other side of the Solent to water meadows at Christchurch, not far from here. So let's have a little wander. So there's not much to it. There is a pub called the Gun Inn, which is an 18th century pub. I believe it stocks something like 300 different whiskies, so we'll definitely have to have a look there. And there are a couple of yacht clubs over on the left there. That is the Hurst Castle Sailing Club, and then this one just in front of us, Keyhaven Yacht Club, which was founded in 1928, and the present clubhouse was built in 1949. So what we're going to do is wander along the seawall and start our walk on the far side over there. We're just going to start our walk properly, as it were. We've just come onto a path that goes around the shoreline. I believe this part is on the Solent Way. We've got this lovely view of the harbour behind me. Quite a calm and peaceful day today. We're quite lucky because we're filming at the end of October. Now, just in front of me, got a very helpful map. So we're there. So we're going to follow this route around the coast. So we're going to see some nature reserve there, and then here's an area I'm looking forward to exploring, which is the site of an old salt production industry, and then we'll come round there. So we're looking at about 5 kilometers, it looks like, on flat gravel paths, so it should be a nice easy walk. Fingers crossed it's not too muddy. Now we've got a nice view of the harbour there. Now I don't know if you can see, because it is still quite misty and foggy, but there's a shingle bank in the background, and that is Hurst Spit, which is roughly about a mile long, and in the very far distance is a fort called Hurst Castle and a lighthouse. Now we're not going to have enough time today to walk out there, but I did come here a couple of weeks ago on my own without Logan, and I did walk along there to the fort and took some footage. So what I'll do now is show you a little 2-minute clip of what we saw, and it gives you a little bit of the history and the story behind the fort. down from the sea wall, I suppose you'd call it, and we're just on the left hand side of a bank with the sea on the right hand side, and we've got this wonderful nature reserve here. Just turn round, and indeed they've rather helpfully given us a nice information board. Lymington and Keyhaven Nature Reserve. Now there's something like 500 acres around this whole area that is put aside for the reserve, mainly birds of course, and I've seen quite a few folk with their high-powered binoculars around this morning, and this particular reserve, part of the reserve at Keyhaven, was one of the last bits to be converted over in the 1970s. But I'm not a great expert on birds, but there's a list about a mile long of the different species that you can find out here. Well, I've certainly come across a fair few birds now. Some form of geese of some species over in the distance. I wish I knew more about birds to tell you exactly what type of geese. But while we're down here, I can tell you a lot about the history of this place. Although there's a lot of water there, there's quite a few bumps and hollows and earthen banks, and these are the remains of what are known as salterns, and there's a lot of evidence of salt production in this area that went back centuries. Basically, salt was made by impounding the seawater in shallow lagoons, and those were called salterns, and then allowing evaporation in the summer months, which left the salt. And I say the industry was at its peak in the 18th century, with over 160 salterns in use, and to speed up the process, they started to boil the water to speed up the evaporation, and to do that they built these special docks. In fact, we've just passed one. So they would import coal and then export the salt overseas. But eventually the industry died a death because it became a lot cheaper and easier to get salt elsewhere. They were able to extract salt from the mines in Cheshire, and with the onset of the railways it was easier to transport salt across the country. So the industry here effectively ended around about 1865, and a lot of the lagoons were just allowed to silt up and they became water meadows, but as you can see, a lot of it is still got water for the nature reserve. But there's still a lot of evidence of the salt industry here. A lot of the place names of some of the houses and some of the roads have got the word salt in them. Hello. Obviously something exciting going on here.
Yeah, we're just cutting back some gorse.
Some what, sorry?
The gorse.
Oh yes, yes.
So there's...
Is it okay if I film you?
Of course, yes, absolutely fine.
What's your name?
I'm Jake,
Jake,
from the National Park Authority.
Oh right, hi.
So there's some sort of archaeological significance under here.
Yeah.
See this bank here on the left?
Yes.
There's a bank going up the side of the lagoon there.
Yes.
They're believed to be the old docks for the salt industry here in the 1700s.
Oh, that's when they brought coal in for the boiler and then export. Yep. Oh right, so this is where the docks were.
Exactly, yeah. Ah. So the shingle here, which used to be the old beach in here, so
yeah,
before the sea wall,
yes,
that's how it was. And then today we're going to be cutting back the gorse to expose the archaeological work that was here.
Oh wow.
And kind of just to give us a better idea of what is here really.
Yeah. So
that's the goal.
So was there a some sort of track then from the docks back to the mainland?
I believe so. I'm not entirely sure of what how extensive it is, but there's more work here there's more stuff going on here than we actually believe. But
it's amazing how much sort of history there is behind the salt industry here. But oh, lovely. Well, I'll let you get on. Have a good day.
Take care.
Right. Well, normally, folks, I'll be showing you a marvellous view of the Isle of Wight, but there's a bit of either a mist or a fog over it. I can just about make it out. It's not that far away, and in fact I believe it's only a mile between Hurst Castle and the Isle of Wight itself. But on a normal day you've got a beautiful view. You can see the Needles on the far right. I can just about make them out. I'll try and put a photo up of a better picture. So that's to the west, and then you're probably not going to see too much on this. On my left, to the west is sorry, to the east is Newtown. We've now left the sea behind us and we're heading inland. We're going along a path that's known as Pennington Strait, and as we do so there's a lot more evidence here of some of those earthen banks and areas where the Salterns used to be. We've also got a few free range cattle as well. Again, this area was, I'd say, reclaimed, although I expect it does flood in the winter. I'm just looking ahead. Looks as though a couple of folk with their high-powered binoculars with a bit of bird watching. Oh, what a perfect place to be if you're into that sort of thing. I wonder if they've spotted anything interesting. Find out in a minute. Morning. Anything interesting to spot out there today?
Well, nothing out of the usual.
No.
Golden Plover out there.
There's some golden plover right out.
Golden plover.
Seen all the swallows.
Yeah, right, you see the water at the back.
Yeah.
There, that little sort of darkish water.
Yes.
And there's birds there.
Yeah.
And there's about 5 golden plover
All right.
on that sort of bit of a dry spit.
And would they be quite rare?
No.
Well, they're not rare.
No.
But they're seasonal, you know.
Yes.
And you get them this time of year.
Yeah.
If you want to have a look in here, you can see.
Is it possible? That's very kind of you. I'll film with that and I'll look through.
There's a few lapwings, but you can see.
Oh yes, yes.
Goldies in there.
Gosh.
They come here for the winter.
Oh right. Where do they come? Where are they in the summer?
The northern hemisphere.
Yeah.
Shall we say.
Oh right.
They breed up north. But in the winter they'll come down here.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. They're nice.
Wow.
They're always nice to see. They get over on the floods here in real good numbers later on in the winter.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you get into sort of December.
Does this, sorry, the Logan there, does this sort of flood later on? You see the cows there, but with this...
No, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
It's got too much water in it at the moment.
Yeah.
When that goes down a bit and you get a few more muddy margins, you should get a few little waders in there.
Ah.
But you can see the swallows coming in, taking water out there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you guys get on. Okay. Thank you.
Right, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, a couple of friendly chaps there, letting me have a look through their telescope. I say I know nothing at all about birds, but it was amazing how close up I could see the when I was looking through. There's technology for you. Just as I'm walking along here, a couple of weeks ago one of my viewers asked if I could point out whether or not any of these walks were wheelchair accessible or not. Well, Obviously a lot of the walks that I do in the New Forest are up and down hills, or they're through sort of muddy tracks and what have you. But this particular walk, I would say all of it is wheelchair accessible, because the whole path is flat and on quite a hard surface. Well folks, we've come to the end of our walk. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment and subscribe. Logan and I are off to the Gun Inn for some light refreshment. In the meantime, hopefully you'll be able to join us for another walk sometime in the future. Thanks for watching, and cheerio. Don't tell me you've seen a bird.